Hi guys, Bearded Rogue here, continuing my Tony Unpacks in Oregon series, with box 6 this time, and box 6 is also a smaller box, so let's dig in and get started. So, the first game I have here is Aether Captains. Aether Captains is a solo game by Todd Sanders, who is renowned on the Board Game Geek game design forums for designing fantastic solo games. This is, I think, his first. Either way, it's an amazing game. It has all the expansions in here. This is a print and play productions version of the game. I don't know if it's available at all anymore. I know that another company has picked this up and kickstarted it at one point as a non-solo game. So I don't know if this is able to be acquired anymore, but I'm really glad that I have it in my collection. It's one of my favorite solo games, and while I haven't played it a lot recently, hopefully that will change here soon once I get everything set up here. But really, really good game. Happy to have this in my collection. Next, Lotus. So, when I was walking around was it my first Gen Con? I don't remember. At Origins, I know I saw it. I was walking around Origins. I was playing my game at the time, Elements, and Jordan and Mandy, the design team extraordinaire behind Lotus, came up and sat down and played my game. And then we played a game that at the time was called Bloom. That game became Lotus in the hands of Renegade Games, and even before Renegade got a hold of it and did some development, I could tell that it was going to be something special. It was gorgeous. The cards fit together to form flowers on the table. You have this gigantic display of flowers all over your table as you play it. It's just a gorgeous game. It's really fun. It's mean and cutthroat, but it doesn't have to be. Just the people I play it with play it as a knife fight in a phone booth, almost. But it's a really fun game. In Renegade's line, another feather in their cap as far as great games that they've released, and I happen to really like this one, and the designers are wonderful, wonderful people. The publishers as well. I haven't met the artist, unfortunately. Maybe someday I'll do that and find out that they're wonderful as well. But this is a fantastic game. Glad to still have that one here with me. Okay. So, the Manhattan Project. This is the Manhattan Project plus its expansion, which is actually multiple smaller expansions. I really like this game. There are some people who are down on the theme. It's not the actual usage of the bomb, it's just the building of them, so for me it's a unique theme that I really enjoy. It's different for a worker placement type game. I love the espionage track that exists in it where you can use other people's stuff. I'm not as big of a fan of the whole fighters and bombers portion of it. I think that that's just kind of there. But the way that the tempo-based worker placement works, where I place a worker on the main board and then I can place any number on my personal board, or I can reclaim all my workers, is fantastic. I have yet to play the Manhattan Project Energy Empire. I've been told that I will probably like it more than this one, which is saying something because this is one of my favorite worker placement games that I own. So I'm hoping to give Energy Empire a try and see if this one kind of gets Jones theoried away as the prototype for what was released later, but I've had a lot of good plays on this one, and really, really enjoy it. Manhattan Project. Well, we'll just get right into it. Castles of Burgundy. If you don't own this game, you should. I say that only somewhat jokingly. This is a game by Stefan Feld. It is a dice Euro. So it uses dice, which is a little bit of luck. However, the entire game is about tactically using those dice to your best advantage. It plays very, very quickly, especially once you know how it plays. There's lots of different ways to score points. There's lots of different paths to victory. I don't really see a dominant strategy in this game. I've played it a couple hundred times. I think it's ugly as sin and would love a deluxe edition of the game, but other than looking like Spreadsheet the board game, I can't recommend this one enough. Like, this is one of the best games in my collection. And really what made me realize that, yeah, maybe this there is something to this Stefan Feld guy. He makes some pretty good games. It's also usually pretty cheap on Amazon and easy to get a hold of. Just look for this one. I really, really highly recommend it. Castles of Burgundy, or Die Burgund von Burgund, if you want to get the German edition, which also has English rules. Great game. Highly recommended. Get it into your collection. I mean it. If you like Euro games at all, you should own Castles of Burgundy. Next is what I consider an unappreciated gem, and that's Infamy. Infamy is initially published by Mercury Games. I'm looking to see. Yeah, Travis Archance is the designer. He is now Action Phase, Indie Boards and Cards. But this was the first game design of his, I think, that made it out to the market. It has a fantastic auction where you pay to play. You don't just pay for whatever the item is, you also have to pay to take part in the auction. So it makes you really consider which auctions you care about and which ones you don't. It has a little bit of everything. It has elements of worker placement, has elements of technology tree upgrades as you curry favor with the 3 different criminal organizations on Mars. It has the greatest first player token ever made. That big gun there is the first player marker. Yeah, it's a really underrated game. I really like this one a lot. I try to play it whenever I can. I get sad when I don't see other people playing it as much as I think it warrants. This game kind of flew under the radar, and I think that's because Mercury doesn't really promote their titles as heavily as some other companies do, and it's a shame because this is a fantastic game. Let's see. Alright, we're going to do 2 boxes at once because they both belong to the same thing, and that's Flashpoint Fire Rescue and the Extreme Danger expansion box. The Flashpoint main game has all of the different maps in it. The Extreme Danger box has all of the miniatures and dice and various other components, tokens and stuff in it. Flashpoint is a co-op game. It was one of the first games that I got in the hobby because co-op games are kind of what brought me heavily into board gaming. I came from role-playing, which is primarily a cooperative activity, so shouldn't surprise anyone, but I really like co-op games, and this is a really good one. It's a little bit lucky in that you are rolling dice to see how the fire spreads, and sometimes that can be unpredictable and be an immediate game over, and it sucks, but that's life. It has a lot of room for working together and tactics and strategy as you plan how you're going to rescue people out of the burning building or submarine or warehouse or whatever map you're playing on. It's had a lot of expansions. It's gotten a lot of love. It's a really solid game, and if you like co-ops, I recommend it as one that's a little different. The theme is something that I haven't seen as a problem for anyone. Like, everybody likes firefighters. They're one of the few genuinely heroic individuals that we encounter pretty much everywhere, and it's good to see a game about them that actually focuses on what they actually do. Jumping into burning buildings, saving people, and putting out fires. Pretty cool game. I really like it. And the last box in here is the game that actually got me into board gaming heavily, and that's Pandemic. This is my ancient version. It's got the In the Brink expansion inside of it. Obviously, the newer version has the much slicker action movie cover and has the plastic cubes and the cards that aren't that don't jive with mine. I never bought an upgrade set. I never went out and got the further expansions like In the Lab and stuff like that, even though I'm sure I would love them. I did pick up Pandemic Legacy, which I'm sure we'll find in one of these boxes at some point. But this is the game that really brought me back into gaming from when I gamed as a kid. We were sitting around looking for things to do, and I found out about cooperative games. We didn't have time to role play. We were running into that problem, and my wife and I like working together. Imagine that. So we got a cooperative game that everybody said was incredibly hard and we would never be able to beat. And then we crushed it, and then we upped the difficulty, and then we beat it, and then we upped the difficulty, and then we started seeing what everybody was talking about. So, while we normally played this on legendary mode before the introduction of like the purple disease and the other on the brink stuff that makes it harder, this is a really fun game. It is a puzzle. There are some people who get really upset because based on how the cards are dealt, it determines whether you win or lose, which isn't entirely true. It can certainly rack things in your favor or against you one way or another, but it's not the sole determining factor. There is a lot of strategy and tactical thought in here, and I love cooperating with people and discussing plans of action and then following through. And so this game was a godsend for me, and is why I have all of the other games sitting here that I've purchased since I played this game. I still have a few games from before that, but most of them are the games you would know, like Clue and Monopoly and Risk and Battleship and stuff like that. This is my introduction to modern board games, and I'm so thrilled that I found it when I did. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of this box. So, Pandemic closes it out. I'm going to go ahead and tear this down, and we'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.